Hi there, good morning. Woody again, back for another little video, a little update of my life, how I'm getting on, how I'm living with this this cancer, and I've also got a message that I wanted to share as well about something that might help people. It's a beautiful morning today. It's really frosty. It's just beautiful. The sun's just about to rise. Had a lovely journey into work. I got here really early so I could do this, and then I've got my day work out in the ambulance, teaching people to drive ambulances. Anyway, I had my 5-month, I had a checkup the other day, or a consultation actually, with my oncologist, and we had a chat about things, and yeah, generally they're very short, these chats, but the last one was 5 months ago, so you know, this was like quite important, and she said everything's going well, and the last MRI, which was about a month ago, is showing really good results, and there was a slight I have a slight fracture in my back from possibly from the falls I had, which is why I had to have the MRI, but she said there doesn't look to be any progression of the disease in any way, and I chatted away, and I thought, as she's talking to me, I just thought, I think she's lovely and everything, but she's treating cancer, really. She's not really treating me. And I understand that now. I understand that, because she must see people, like, that's her life, seeing people, and I guess seeing them die. So she doesn't kind of want me to, almost, it feels like she's almost saying, don't get your hopes up, this is a really aggressive form of cancer. But I refuse to have that. I don't care. It's aggressive, it's Gleason score of 10, 9, means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing. I will do what I can do. I believe the power to heal comes from within, and it doesn't matter at what stage you're at. I really do. So as I was driving home last night, I started thinking about what I was going to talk about on this video, and a song came out called Imagination, and it's from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Funny enough, just came on the radio, and then really bizarrely, because I have a really short, my memory actually is quite I sometimes just forget what I'm saying. I guess it's a part of the medication, and the hormone therapy does that to me. And I sometimes have to write stuff down so I can remind myself what I have an idea about what to talk about. I write it down so I can remember the next day, and it completely got out of my head. But then I changed the channel on the radio on the way to work, and I can't believe this, but the song came out again. Imagination, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, on 2 different stations, and I've never really, can't actually ever think I've ever even heard it on the radio before. And I then remembered that's what I was going to talk about, imagination, which is bizarre. Now, the reason I'm talking about imagination is my wife and my children are in they're in a wonderful place at the moment. They've gone skiing with the school. I have a love of skiing because I worked for 10 years in the Alps as a ski guide, and I have this wonderful passion. But I at the moment, at least for the future, I haven't been for a long time, about 20 odd years, and I done 10 seasons out in the Alps, and loved every moment of it. But the reason I wanted to talk about imagination is I felt a bit lonely, and then I spoke to my wife, and she said to me, this would be really good if you were here. And I spoke to my eldest daughter, and she said that she's having a great time. She's never skied before, and I listened to her voice, and I thought, she has it. She's got the passion. I can feel it. I can hear it in her voice already. And the reason I'm talking about imagination is that after the phone call, I felt a bit down, and I thought, okay, what would I be telling someone else? I don't know what to do. I wanted to be there, and I closed my eyes, and then I just started to imagine I was out in the Alps back in the day skiing. And it's so strange how the imagination works, because the power that you can generate through just using your imagination. Close your eyes and then use your senses, all of your senses, to go back somewhere. It's just amazing that I could actually almost feel instantly that I was there. I jumped off a chairlift at the top of a mountain and I was looking around at the view, and I was back there. And I just spent about 10 minutes doing this and having this amazing session. And I realised that, yeah, we are so powerful that we don't even know it. We don't know what we can do. And I was doing some research years ago because I was designing a program for people to calm their minds. It was something to do with driving, and I was teaching driving instructors first of all how calm their students' minds. And it actually turned out I was teaching them how to calm their minds. And what I did on this course is I was going to teach people how, not only how to do it, but why things work. So I wanted to go more into the more scientific way of explaining how things work in the mind. And some of the research I done came across this article about one of the ski teams. It was either the Austrian or the USA ski team that were back in those days. They were doing ski simulations on machines where they wire them up on machines and they put probes on their bodies, and these probes tell which muscles are working and how they're working and how much flexing they're doing and so on, so they can improve them. And what they're doing is trying to build these are super athletes, by the way. I remember once standing next to the world champion Hermann Maier, and the guy's literally, he was a giant, absolute giant. But anyway, I digress. And these simulations they used to do and then put them on a computer and show and talk through what they were doing and how they were using their muscles. And one of the guys wasn't even rigged onto the simulation, and as they were putting all the probes on him, his muscles had started to react and flex and so on. And they said to him, what's happening here? You know, is there something wrong with it? Is something? And he said, well, I'm just thinking about the run I did yesterday. I'm just running through it in my mind. So in his mind, he was back on that run, and he was imagining himself going back down that mountain, and the results were coming up on the screen. So he didn't even have to be on the simulator. He was literally, and this opened up another, a whole new sort of theory of how the mind works and how they can use it in sport. And it is used a lot in sports. So people will imagine doing something like, I know Tiger Woods, he imagines every shot before he takes it. He has this power of rehearsal in his mind. And there's places where for instance, the mind is used, the imagination is used to heal, and it's used, and there's so many examples of how imagination can be used. And I've heard articles of people imagining killer T cells attacking cancer cells with some kind of a success. So I got to think to myself, this is another thing that we can do. We can, first of all, when we're feeling in a bad way, okay, because let's face it, the cancer ride is some roller coaster of emotions. Anyone on this ride, they know just how up and down it is. One day you're up, next day you're down, and then coping with the hormone therapy is another emotional roller coaster of emotions. I don't know whether I'm crying, laughing, I go through the motions all the time. But our imagination can do, I believe that if we're going to heal cancer without with the medication is got to be there, I think, but we heal from within without a doubt. I believe that the mindset is the first thing. You've got to get your mindset right, and then you can start using the power of the mind. And if you think, how often have you ever been sort of doing nothing and then you hear a song on the radio and all of a sudden your body is transferred into that time when that song came out and meant something to you, and it may be an emotional connection, whether it's good or bad, but you are there, and you are there in every sense and of the word. You're there. It just brings it to life, and that's because the brain can do this. It doesn't. Well, the thing with the brain is it doesn't understand whether you're there or not. You can make it up in your mind. So I can pretend I'm on a ski lift, okay? My brain can't work out whether I'm there or not, so it just creates the feeling I'm there, because it can't distinguish between fact and making it up. And we make up a lot of our lives, our thoughts are made up, a lot of them, and so our brain believes it. You know, we tell ourselves stories about ourselves, about how, you know, how we're not confident, how we're not this and that, and the brain believes it. It doesn't know whether it's true or not. It just goes along with it. So the power of imagination is something we can harness, that we can use, that I think is exciting. I think it's really exciting. I think, you know, if you can't get out your house, you can close your eyes. You can go through wherever you want to go in the world. Close your eyes. If you've been there before, start imagining that you're there with all your senses that you got. Okay, and your brain will provide the right chemical reaction in your body to make you feel like you're there, because it doesn't know you're not there. The brain can't see. It just presumes, you know. It's a very strange thing, really. So why can't we start, you know, pretending that we're healing, imagining that we're already healed, we can imagine all sorts of things. Imagination is such a powerful influence on our lives, and if we know how to use it and harness it, I think we got another weapon that we can use. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to imagine things. I'm trying to imagine my life without cancer. I am living my life at the moment as if I don't have cancer. Apart from these videos and the occasional checkup and the pills I take every day, unfortunately, the medication, I wouldn't have cancer. There's nothing in me that I try. It's like my pain levels have gone down because I've told myself and imagined I don't have pain. And as hard as that is to believe, a lot of people will think you're talking a load of rubbish, but once you start believing in it, you've got to kind of train yourself to believe in this as well. Once you start believing in it, then that's when the magic starts to work. It doesn't work unless you don't believe in it. You've got to kind of force yourself to believe in it. And I've been for at least a year telling myself now how I'm healing, how I'm getting well. Now I'm actually taking it one step further and saying to myself, every day at some point I'm telling myself, I'm healthy, I'm well, I'm cancer free, I'm painless, I've got no pain in my body. And I keep telling myself this, and do you know what, I've been cutting down on tablets, on my painkillers, and I have no, when I first started doing it, I started to get pain, but then now it's starting to go away. It's almost like, well, I'm taking these pills for no reason. These so-called, you know, these painkillers that are, supposed to be controlling the pain. I think I can imagine a little bit of that pain going away. Anyway, it's something that's food for thought, and it's something I wanted to share, and it's something that just thinks out of the box a little bit different than just the same old cancer stuff. If we're going to do it and we're going to beat this, we've got to do it in ways that are out of the box thinking, because we've got this brain, we've got this computer in our minds, this incredible complex piece of machinery in our heads we've all got that is more powerful than any computer on earth. It does more things in a second than anything else can. Okay, so why can't we use it that way? Why can't we start thinking about ways of using it differently? And I think the imagination is a brilliant step forward. So try it. I don't know how you're going to get on with it. Perhaps you could try it and then let me know. I believe it works. Okay, let me know your thoughts. It'd be great to hear. Anyway, until the next time, I've got to go to work now, so take care. Whatever you're doing, be grateful. No matter what, keep being grateful, keep being positive, no matter how bad it seems. Just keep that positivity going. Okay, and be kind to people, because that gives you another extra power, as I've said before. So until the next time, bye bye.